Hello, everyone. I'm the Red Dog. Bark, bark. Watch the 3 Count Podcast. Bye.
Weighing in at an unbelievable weight that you might hate, but you can't even
Dang, high
debate.
pass, we find that drag ball at.
Now entering the ring.
Welcome everybody to another great edition of the 3 Count Podcast presents Now Entering the Ring. I'm your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller, one that leads you on these expeditions. But as always, it's not about me. It's about what's up. You know what? You know how Now Entering does now. We have a special guest for you. This man can be found at ROW. You can find this man on AEW Dark. You can find him in WWE, SWE, VIP. You can find this man on Lions Pride, CWFH, UWN, and BIW. He is the former ROW television champion and the Lions Pride 360 champ. You know him. Everyone loves him because he is Will Allday. What's up?
What's up? That's a lot of acronyms, man. Man, I couldn't keep up. Right now, I am the current Texas heavyweight champion, so you can't forget that. So I represent the great state of Texas everywhere I go, and I defend that in every promotion I can.
Bet. You're right. I can't forget that because that is such a huge accomplishment, especially in the great state of Texas, because I know all about that area too.
Yeah.
But shout-outs, man, like how are you doing, man? Because I know like we originally met back in February of 2020, right before everything closed down.
Yeah, right. It's been a long year, right? It's been a hell of a year. It's been a completely different year, but I think I've thrived and really kind of adapted to the situation and circumstances. And right now, I think it's the apex of my career, the pinnacle so far. And hopefully there's no downward slide. Hopefully that keeps going upwards.
Yeah, and it's so cool because like watching you pop on AEW, I was like, I know that guy. It's like I work with him.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's a very surreal experience, and one that I've been striving for and working for here for a long time. And finally, where I don't say where I want to be, but definitely taking steps into getting to where I want to be, the position where I want to be.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, and like it was something that you had told me. Like you got to continue growing and learning and keep moving up the ladder, and you'll reach wherever you got to go to. So it was like one piece of advice that I was really appreciative that you were able to give to me when we met in Baltimore.
Yeah, man. It's always like life is just a constant journey, right? You can't really be content in where you are if you want to grow. And I'm always looking to grow, and I think you should. That's the only way you're going to progress. You're just going to stagnate if you don't. So I keep that mentality with everything I do.
Yeah, I've been like reading your resume and just seeing that going to Rice and being a former QB, and then like seeing you in the wrestling world, and just I was like, damn, man, like this dude's been around the block.
Yeah. I've lived a lot of life, and not a lot of people do that before they get into something like this, and I'm glad that I did, because I think it really helped get me to where I needed to be quicker than a lot of people do. I know, if time is not of the essence for them, then there's no rush. But for me, I didn't have that luxury. I started a little bit late, and so I needed to put a little pressure on myself to get where I wanted to get to quicker than one would normally do. I didn't want to take a couple of years to train and then jump in and then do matches on these local indies. I wanted to get in the ring as fast as I could, and so I trained for a handful of months, and I trained under the best, and that's at ROW. That's Reality of Wrestling with Booker T, and that's under guys like Gino Medina, Ryan Davidson, JJ Blake. They really, really helped me progress as quickly as I did, because they knew that I was different to the other guys, and they kind of let me forge my own path. And there sometimes you got to take a little bit of heat and a little bit of angst from the other guys, because you are walking your own path. But I think that I have the confidence in myself to not really let that affect me. And so again, man, it's just because I came from a different walk of life that I learned to navigate the waters differently than other people.
No, and that's awesome, man. And I was just curious, man, like how did you find your way into the business though?
Well, I had watched it when I was younger, and then I kind of, as I grew up, I played multiple sports at a time, and then like you kind of get into high school and you start like girls become a thing and school becomes a thing, and I like placed a big emphasis, and so did my family, on school. So I was in these advanced classes, and that took a lot of time. Plus the multiple sports that I was playing, plus girlfriends, and then I went to college and I was playing football there, and that's 40 hours a week. And then you got to go to class, and then you got to study, and then you got to try to make some money. And it's a lot of things in my mind to where like I kind of pushed that to the back burner. And, I had a buddy who kind of helped me rediscover wrestling because WrestleMania 25 was in Houston, and he asked me to watch it with him. So I did. And, I got that nostalgia. I got that like adrenaline feeling again. I just remembered how much I enjoyed it, and how the perfect mesh of just athleticism, which is like what I based my whole life on. And I guess really just showmanship, which is something I really, really enjoy as well. That's what draws me in, is the appreciation for the athleticism, but the showmanship is really what hooks me. And so, I was hooked from that pay-per-view because I saw some guys I watched when I was younger, and then I saw some new guys that I was really impressed with. And, then I graduated, and, I still watched it. I still kept up with it every week, watching Raw and SmackDown. And I went to work. I got into like some oil and gas, like financial job, sitting at a desk, doing my 9 to 5 essentially. And I just remember not enjoying my life. I remember dreading waking up because it was just not where I wanted to be. And so finally, I had the balls to say enough is enough. It's now or never if I want to do this or not. And I jumped in, and, I haven't looked back since. I've put everything I've had into it. I'm not doing anything else other than wrestling. I haven't been doing anything else other than wrestling for about a year now. And, I think sometimes if you really want to make it your whole life, you have to make it your whole life. And so that's what I did.
No, that's awesome and an incredible journey, man. Like, so props to you. So being that you've been in the business for a few years, I'm just very curious. You've probably taken some pretty bad bumps, but I got to know, what was the worst bump you've taken?
Oof. Yeah, so I've been wrestling for about 3 years now, and man, I want to say I haven't really taken too many bad bumps because I know that that's just not, I don't know. It's just not going to help me get anywhere. It's not going to like help me get to the top, and you gotta stay healthy. You gotta protect your body. And so I'm not trying to do all this crazy stuff to get noticed. I'm just trying to showcase myself, and not a spot, but I want to showcase me as a performer. And so I don't place a whole lot of emphasis on that. But I've gone through matches and had to work through injuries and whatnot. I did a street fight with Brennan Steen, back in 2019, that capped off our feud at the time. That I think in the first minute of the match, I like cracked my collarbone when I got thrown into the stairs, and had to finish the rest of the 15 minutes with, a bum arm because of that collarbone. So that's really what I'll go with. Because like I said, I don't put myself in, too many dangerous situations.
No, that makes sense. And like you said, it's all about like keeping yourself safe, keeping your opponent safe, because I mean, at the end of the day, this is a dance that we're all like learning together at the same time, especially if it's like first times you met people. So yeah, no, that's awesome though that you haven't taken like really any bad bumps, but I'm pretty sure you've probably taken some pretty good hits. So I'm just wondering, what's the hardest you've ever been hit in a match?
Oh gosh. So when is this going to air?
I'm trying to think. May? It'd be like mid-May.
Okay. So yeah, just this match I wrestled with Miro for AEW. It's on Elevation. That guy hits like a freight train, man. He is a super athlete, like everybody describes. He is big, he is powerful, he is fast, he is just a supreme athlete. And being in the ring with him is, a pleasure, because I like to challenge myself. I like to test myself against these other superior athletes, because that's what I consider myself. And I'll tell you this, being hit by a guy like that who weighs 270 pounds is a whole nother level, man. That is, it's like a moving car hitting you.
I can only imagine. I remember like seeing him when he debuted. Fun fact, I've never actually told the story before. It's the first time I tell it. I watched him debut on a dark match in SmackDown against Tyson Kidd, and like seeing him move, I was like, I have no idea who this guy is, but I'm gonna have to definitely keep eyes. And yeah, you're right. When they released him and sent him to AEW, I was like, this dude is just gonna be amazing.
He's a freight train. And then let me go ahead and name this guy too, Lance Hoyt. This guy's a monster. This guy, Lance Archer, excuse me.
Yeah.
This guy, every time you take a choke slam, it's not a choke slam from 6 feet up. You're going 10 feet up. He's got the almost 7 feet tall, plus the arms on top of it, plus me being on top of that. You're falling from a building. You're falling from the second story, essentially. And so, that guy is an incredible athlete, an incredible monster. And, he's somebody that you just can't help but be impressed with every time you're in the ring with him.
Yeah, it was. I was telling the guys, I was like, I don't understand, like a guy that big being able to do a backflip off the top rope. I'm just like, and he lands it, like essentially he lands it, but obviously like he takes the other dude down with him. And I was like, that's just, to me, it just blows my mind. Physics.
It blows my mind. Everything he does really is impressive. And, he likes to put on this front like he's this big, bad monster, but he's really the biggest softie. So, you can tag him in it and you can tell him I said that because, everybody needs to know what a good heart this guy has. He's the guy who's helped me out the most in this business. And so I wanted to make sure that I gave a special, mention to him because he's done a lot for me and I'm very appreciative.
Yeah, big shout outs to the Murder Hawk Monster. I know he's a great. It's cool to know that he's a great dude.
Yes.
I got. All right. So I know a lot of wrestlers, and I've been learning this as I've been doing this show. A lot of wrestlers don't eat before a show, but they always have like a post match snack or post match meal. So I'm very curious, what's your post match meal after your match?
Man, I am always, and I've always said this, if I had one meal for the rest of my life, it would always be a burger and fries. And you can't go wrong because, you can make a burger so many different ways. But to me, just a classic cheeseburger. And now I've been smartened up trying to retain some muscle. I eat like a triple burger afterwards just to try to get in that protein. But that's my go-to is a triple cheeseburger after I'm all good and done with everything and I can kind of relax and get that recovery meal. It's that triple cheeseburger. And I look forward to that. I tell you that every time.
That's awesome though. That's great. All right. So my next big question for you, man, is going to be what advice would you give to up and coming wrestlers?
My advice is a two-parter. Really. It's once you kind of get the basics and once you kind of get in there and know what you're doing, it's have the confidence to be yourself. It's don't let anybody take away the thing that makes you you, because there are too many people that try to be somebody else. And I don't know, where that comes from. I know that's an inner struggle with a lot of people, but you need to make sure that you are unequivocally and unashamedly you, because nobody else is going to be you. And that is what's going to separate you. You try so hard in this business to be unique, and the easiest thing to do is just be you. And not a lot of people do that. And so that having the confidence to walk the way you walk, talk the way you talk, move the way you move, that I think is very, very important, because a lot of people are too scared to do that. And then once you finally let that wall come down and you really are supremely confidently you, people can see that and people can gravitate towards that. And, a lot of people watching you in the ring can see through you trying to be something else. So don't be something else, be you. Now, the two-parter is you have to be self-aware. You can't be super confident in other things. You can't be confident that you're the best in the world if you're clearly not. You can't be confident that you're your skills or your abilities are top notch if they're not. So you also have to be self-aware in that same respect. But, at the same time, that doesn't take away you being confident who you are. So always build, always work to be better at, all the things that this entails. But, at the same time, like, you have to be you.
Yeah. That's great. That's the first time we ever had like a 2-part advice. So I'm glad you're able to drop that knowledge. So for me, man, like this is kind of one thing, like you're always like you being in Texas, man, there's promotions popping up everywhere. So I'm very curious. When you walk into a new locker room, I need one do and one don't of the locker room.
I think this is not a locker room thing. It's just a life thing. It's be polite and be respectful, be cordial, like I know a lot of people get a bad rap because they're shy. And so they're not outgoing and they're not friendly because, again, this goes back to the confidence thing. But be open, start conversations, be friendly, say hello, make eye contact. Because if you don't, and it may be wrong, people are kind of going to look down on you because you're not open to being friendly. You're not open to these conversations. And, you have to be in this business. This business is showing off that personality, right? In the ring and behind the scenes. So you have to make sure you do that. And you should do that when you go into any job or into any like social setting, I think that's a do and a don't, do that. Don't not do that.
I like
that's
that.
really it, man.
Yeah, no, you're right, man. Like, get into the locker room and just like have a conversation. Like people, it's so crazy to know how much the word hello means in the locker room.
Yeah.
Like
in life in general, you don't know what people are going through. So it never hurts to be friendly and cordial and polite and respectful. Those are things that take no effort for you.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite things, like just being able to walk in and just ask, how's your day? Like, I genuinely love asking that question because you can ask the same question to 40 people, you're going to get 40 answers and they're not all going to be the same. And it's cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, much obliged.
Yeah.
But those are it for the big, hard-hitting questions that I got. But we do have the second best segment on the 3 Count podcast because the number one best segment is the Red Dogs Power Rankings. I'm just going to put myself over for it, and that is what it is. But the number 2 greatest segment is the 3 Count podcast, 10 count questions. And Mr. Allday, this is how it works. I'm going to fire off 10 questions at you, rapid quick. It's whatever first comes to your mind.
Okay. All right, let's do it.
All right, so we're going to put on an imaginary timer. Bing! And Mr. James Harden, is it SmackDown or Raw is your favorite?
I'm going to go with SmackDown. I think the only thing that could make it better is if AJ Styles is on it.
Oh, yes, the phenomenal one. Let's go. Favorite movie?
Oh, gosh. Anything with Jim Carrey. I used to love 90s Jim Carrey, man.
I can't even hate on that. 3 things that always have to be on you.
Well, I mean, you got to go cell phone just because that's straight up business. I wish it didn't. For the love of God, I wish it didn't. But let's go jacket. Let's go leather jacket, whether that be purple, silver, or black. Let's go cell phone, and let's go. Gosh, I don't really have too much on me, man. I'm very low key. So let me give you I guess a pair of boots. Give me some boots. Again, silver or black.
Yeah, all right, let's go. All right, so favorite cartoon.
Ooh, I don't watch too many. I do like Big Mouth. I don't really watch cartoons. I don't play video games, so I don't do a whole lot of that. But I do like Big Mouth, which is an adult-oriented cartoon. It's very vulgar, a lot of language, but very entertaining.
All right, it's a Friday night. What you doing?
Well, if I'm not at like a sporting event or a concert, I'm wrestling, man. I'm working. Friday, Saturday, Sundays are big work nights, man.
Facts. Favorite midnight snack?
Oh, do I be boring and say protein bar? Only because I have to. And then if I'm trying to stay healthy too, give me some popcorn. I love me some popcorn. I love the crunching.
That's good. See, you got it figured out. All right. We got to ask because I know you've been around. Is it In-N-Out or Whataburger?
Oh, man. I tell you what, if I'm going burger itself, oh, man. In-N-Out doesn't have mayo, does it?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I love mayo on my burger. But the burgers at In-N-Out are tough. I think I'm going to go burgers at In-N-Out. I think I'm going to go with the totality Whataburger because those In-N-Out fries are garbage. Oh, my gosh. Tastes like styrofoam.
Yeah, I have to agree. I remember I went to In-N-Out in Vegas one time and I was like, this is cool, man. But this isn't all hopped up to be. But when I was living in San Antonio, I hit my first Whataburger and I was like, I'm never going anywhere else again.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's tough to beat Whataburger in the totality, but In-N-Out's burgers are pretty fantastic.
Bet. So we're going to go with favorite podcast.
Well, the 3 Count, obviously, of course. But other than that, man, I wish Austin was still doing his because he was so entertaining. So, other than that, I'll go with Austin's.
Okay. Nominate one person that you want to see on this show.
Cameron Cole. That is an entertaining, talented, next level competitor that's going to be on your TV screens very soon.
I agree. I can't. Okay, I'm definitely reaching out. And then last but not least, my favorite question to ask every single person that comes on this show: favorite curse word.
Fuck. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
No, it's like the only word that's really necessary, and like I feel like it should be the only word in the English dictionary at this point.
No, bleep that out. But yeah, I don't know. Probably that.
Yeah,
probably that because you can use it for anything. There's so much emphasis on it. I don't like to use it too much, obviously.
Right.
And mostly for comedic effect. But yeah, I'd say that one.
That's why I asked that question. It's really just like the comic relief part.
Yeah.
But that is the 10 count question. So last thing I just need from you, Mr. Allday, is where can our viewers and our listeners find you?
Well, you can find me at any of the social medias. My handle is I am Mr. Allday. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can find me at Reality of Wrestling. Check out any of their episodes or matches. It's a fantastic promotion. You can find me at AEW Dark. You can find me at Primetime Live, Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, Championship Wrestling from Memphis. You can find me at VIP, any of these promotions. And you're going to find wherever I'm going to be on my social medias. So make sure you check that out. Make sure you give me a follow. Make sure you comment on my stuff. And that way I can comment back with you and interact with you.
Bet. You heard it here. If you talk to him, he'll talk to you. But that is it. This is the 3 Count Podcast presents Now Entering the Ring. And as I said at the beginning of the show, I'm your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller. And, this is Now Entering the Ring with Mr. Will Allday. So you guys know what to do. Tune in to the next episode and be there, or you just wait for this episode to end. And I swear to God, there's going to be another episode that plays. So just let it go. What's going on, 3 Count Nation? I'm Clifford Red Dog Miller with the catchphrase. But what I really want to do right now, go to twitter.com, right? Go over there, find us at the 3count_pod, give us a follow, give us a like, give us a comment. We want to talk to you guys. Go to IG at the 3countpod, give us a like, give us a follow, leave us a comment. We want to interact with you. Go to youtube.com, give subscribe, turn the bell on, turn the notifications, leave a comment. We want to talk to you. Go to anchor.fm/the 3 Count Podcast, and in there, you can leave us a message, and we will talk to you. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that we want to talk to you. We want to have fun with you guys, and we love listening to what you guys have to say. Also, one thing I need you to do for me, the 3 Count Podcast also has merchandise. At prowrestlingtees.com/the 3 Count Pod. Please go buy our t-shirts. We love you guys, and we hope you love us too. So show us some support, please.